We mentioned Bournemouth, Brentford, both safely in mid-table, knock on wood. That sounds like someone that's on the board there. You just want to stay in the game. Promotion and staying in the league is a win. And there's not a single club in the English Premier League outside of Man City and some of the top clubs who want to win championships and believe they can win championships. Everyone else is going for safety to build what it's like to be in the Premier League year over year. You were a part of some big news this week: promotion, relegation. Of course, that's life in Europe. That's life in the UK along the football pyramid. You had a chance to be at the desk, CBS Golazo. Can you take us inside what it was like for you to be a part of that big announcement, and even some of your thoughts about Pro Rel as now it's a real thing on the horizon?
Yeah, one of the best things about working with CBS Sports and Golazo Network is the fact that oftentimes we're at the precipice of a news either breaking or handling big time stories with care and intention. And I want to
Mhm.
give a shout out to the producers, the crew, and just the network in general for always making sure that we are equipped and we're in the right frame of mind to be able to handle these moments as
Well
talent. And
said.
then the rest is up to us to make sure that we live up to the moments. And then in that same vein, you
Love
typically
that.
have very important guests that are coming on to talk about whatever story might be from the real perspective. So being able to speak to Paul McDonough, the president and CEO of USL, to hear from him in terms of
Who
what this
recruited
all
you, by the
means.
way? Who recruited you back in the
Yeah,
day in college?
yeah, it's wild. He was trying to get me to go to
I'm not the only
UConn,
one
and I
getting old.
remember, hey, listen, look, it still don't show, but black don't crack. But anyway, it was nice to catch
Preach.
up with Paul McDonough because, yes, he was recruiting me to try to get me to go to UConn, and I just remember how that changed my life low key when I started to get letters from the top programs in the country, and it was like the proper, like, Boobie Miles experience where, like, I literally had a big ass
Mm.
box full of letters, and I would go through them with my dad and my stepmom and my brothers, and we would just talk about, like, "Yo, like, this is real now. Like, this is real."
Mhm.
So yeah, shout out to Paul McDonough for seeing something special in me when I was just a kid. But when you talk about promotion relegation now, that it will be here in 2028 in USL. It's definitely an interesting prospect because we've seen rebrands with with USL, MLS,
Well
NWSL,
said.
even college soccer. So the overall landscape in North America is no stranger to rebrands. And now what I'm looking for is, of course, like everyone else, how does this really play out? How does this become not conceptual but an idea? And I think if the USL gets this right, it could really change the landscape in North American soccer for the better because a lot of people and players and organizations have been really waiting for a moment where this is something real when it comes to soccer in North America.
You know what? A couple things that come to mind when I couple this news of promotion relegation in USL with the fact that MLS is going to a European calendar. I think this is how it starts to look now. It's how it's going to be. It's going to be closer to what it has been for the rest of the world, and the uniqueness, if you will, of MLS and USL will start to fade in a good way. And for me, everyone can eat. There is enough for all of us here. And when people have asked me over the years about single entity versus promotion relegation throughout the years and life in Europe versus life in America, and people, particularly football execs, Jalil, I've talked about this, is how much comfort and security you must have here working in the game in the States because you don't have promotion relegation. You don't have these big swings potentially that can force a club owner to make a decision because going down is just not an option. But when I think about promotion relegation, I think simply about people. It is about a goal and a dream and people. That's why we love when the 33-year-old minor leaguer for his entire career gets called up to the Pittsburgh Pirates finally in his age 34 season. That's promotion. We love these stories. We do. So why would we legislate against people? Because that's the beauty of it. It's not clubs. It's our good friend Shaw Brown and crying when Ipswich gets promoted. Like, do we not have a heart for this? So it's not about these structures. It's not about the valuations. It's not about your bank accounts, not about your P&L. It is about people. This game starts and ends with people. And promotion and relegation is about someone's journey, someone's story, about someone's affirmation of their life's work. So that's how I would always package it up. And I feel even more strongly because why put a governor on the stories that are going to happen for the teams that are 20 years away from starting that one day reach to the top of the USL pyramid? So I'm excited because I think we're going to see the humanization, if you will, of the game in a way where people can cling to dreams and aspirations of being at the top flight and having uh, Man City come to Luton Town or to come to Ipswich. It's going to be like that for some of these clubs right now. They're going to get an opportunity. So I'm excited about it. It is a long way away. 2028 certainly can be a point in time where we look at in terms of how this game sort of took a new turn and added a new layer for sure.
What you just described is the beauty of football and the beauty of sport. It's the
Hmm.
opportunity to be great. When you play a sport,
That's right.
nobody can take that opportunity away from you. But when you
That's right.
go and you're in other facets of life and other career sets, people could block you. People could
Preach on
people
it.
could say, "No, I'm not gonna hire X, Y, and Z person for some erroneous reason." But sports, in theory, nullifies all that. If you can ball, if you're a
That's right.
good teammate, if your coach vibes with you, and you are executing what you are supposed to execute at a high level every single time, ain't nobody that can stop you. So that's something that is a human desire. We desire that opportunity to be able to maximize our potential and to not be blocked, and to always be put in situations where no matter how hard you try or whatever have you, there is a very low ceiling on what you can achieve, and that is something that has instilled a lot of confidence in me because I've seen through sport myself, my family, the people
Hmm.
that I'm very close with, people I've never met in my life, have reached heights that they were told that they could not reach, but sport allows you to do that, and that is something that is so amazing, and that's why people are in love with playing sports and watching sports and being completely consumed by them as well.
I was speaking to San Diego FC front office just before their home opener. And when I was talking to them, and we had a great lunch and learn there, shout out to my guy DK down there for bringing me into the fold. And someone asked me about what access really means. And what I thought was having the ability to feel the joy and the misery of this game at your own time in your own way. And I've often said that when you're part of a club and you get a big win, at least for me, one of the last people to leave the stadium, you're feeling great. You're about to hit the highway. I got the windows down, Tupac's on. You can't tell me nothing, Jalil. Like I'm waiting for Real Madrid. If they show up, we're gonna beat them. Like Galacticos Real too, right? But that's the joy, and you go home and your family's there and you're feeling good and you have a nightcap and everyone's loving up on you and you're recapping the game, particularly as my kids got older, you felt so much love and joy. You felt like you did something for the family, for their sacrifices. And the flip side is the misery. You should be able to experience the misery of this game. You've been stuck on 25 points for 6 weeks. You lose at home and the whole thing is bad, you're like slinking out of the facility because you think if there's a JV coach with a very good girls team around the corner, they're going to hand you another L. And to me, that is access and representation. anyone should experience the highs and the lows of the game at their own will in their own way, and that's what I hope not only for everyone who's aspiring to be uh, at a level that they're currently not, but it's more what we talk about generally. This game is for all of us, and we want it to be something that's reflective and representative of the entire tapestry of this beautiful planet and game. So I think about that often, and I just think, the promotion and relegation piece is definitely the talking point of the week, and only on new ground will you learn that the man behind it, at least the front man, Paul McDonough, used to send Jalil Anibaba letters via mail from UConn, Ray Reid. You would have fit in right there too. You would have fit right on in, I think, in stores. They had some ballers, for sure. A bunch of good Caribbean homies always made their way up that way. So shout out to Chris Bondi there, who's the head coach there. UConn, good peoples for sure.